The reflection room. When Lisa inherited her grandmother's Victorian house in the countryside, she saw it as an escape from her high-pressure job and recent divorce. The structure was old but solid, polished wooden floors, ornate wallpaper, and the faint scent of lavender that still lingered from her grandmother's perfume. The attic was the only part of the house that remained locked. Her grandmother had always called it the reflection room, though she never let anyone inside. Lisa found the key tucked inside a velvet pouch hidden in her grandmother's armoire. The brass teeth of the key felt unusually cold when she picked it up. That night, curiosity overtook her. She climbed the creaky stairs to the attic and turned the key in the door. It opened with a sigh, as if the room had been holding its breath for decades. The attic was dim, lit only by moonlight spilling through a round, dusty window. The air smelled of mildew and mothballs, but what caught her breath were the mirrors, dozens of them, lining the walls. Tall ones, cracked ones, handheld ones resting on shelves. Not a single wall was bare. As she stepped inside, the door clicked shut behind her. Lisa turned quickly, but the handle wouldn't budge. She took a deep breath and told herself not to panic. Old houses, she muttered. Then she noticed the mirrors. They were off. They reflected the room correctly, but not her. Her reflection wasn't moving the same way. She raised her hand. It raised the opposite one. She blinked. It smiled. Every mirror reflected a version of her, but not the one standing in the room. Some smiled too wide. Some were frowning. One stared directly at her and mouthed a word she couldn't hear. Lisa leaned closer to that one. "Help," it mouthed again. Then it moved on its own, while Lisa stood perfectly still. Her chest tightened. She tried the door again, pulling and banging, but it held fast. A low hum filled the room, vibrating through the floorboards. When she looked back, the mirrors were different. The reflections were no longer bound to her actions. They were moving freely. In one mirror, her reflection backed away, shaking its head violently. In another, it reached out, palms flat against the inside of the glass. A third version of her suddenly smashed its head against the mirror, cracking the glass from the inside. Lisa screamed and stumbled backward. That's when she noticed one mirror that was empty. No reflection, just a dim, swirling darkness. She felt drawn to it. The closer she got, the louder the humming became. Her fingers tingled. Her vision wavered at the edges. And from the mirror, she heard her grandmother's voice whisper, "Never look too long, dear. It looks back." Lisa fell to her knees, shaking. "What is this?" she gasped. In the far corner, a new reflection appeared, not her. It was a woman with long black hair and eyes like ink spills. She didn't blink. She didn't breathe. She only stared and smiled. "Hello, Lisa," the woman said, though no sound came. "Trade places with me." Lisa scrambled back. The mirrors trembled on their hooks, glass vibrating as if in anticipation. The woman stepped closer in every mirror she appeared in. The reflections of Lisa, twisted, ghostly versions, began to chant in unison, mouths moving silently. "Let her in. Let her in. Let her in." Lisa's back hit the wall. She squeezed her eyes shut. "Wake up," she whispered. "Wake up." Silence. Then, glass shattering. When she opened her eyes, she saw the ink-eyed woman crawling through the broken mirror, hands first, dragging herself into the attic with jerky, unnatural movements. Lisa screamed and kicked wildly, but her limbs moved like they were underwater. The woman reached her and whispered, "Your turn." And then everything went black. 3 days later, when the real estate agent came to check on Lisa, the house was empty, except for the attic door, now unlocked and wide open. She peeked inside and found only dust and old mirrors. As she turned to leave, she noticed something strange. In the center mirror was a woman pounding on the glass, eyes wild with terror, mouth forming one desperate word, "Help." But the reflection in the mirror? It smiled and stepped away.